collectors and Transformer fans! Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to all of the absolutely incredible contributions from my Optibotimus Plus channel members, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Sideways. And for full disclosure, this figure was purchased from an overseas seller. Right up front, one thing that I instantly noticed about this is the color. I really like the silver on here, and it is a very reflective and a very premium look to it. You also do have this dark gray that goes throughout, kind of like a gunmetal gray, which gives a really nice contrast. However, this is not the vehicle that Sideways was in Revenge of the Fallen. In the film, he was an Audi R8. And based on the look of this, obviously, Hasbro was not able to acquire that license. And while I don't have it anymore, that original Revenge of the Fallen Sideways actually did do a little bit better of a job of recreating that Audi R8 look. This doesn't look bad, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it is definitely a kind of an attempt to make a car look like it. There are some cues on here that do really have that sort of look, kind of like with the headlights, the fog light area, the whole front section right there as well. Very R8 looking. And then when you look around here to the side, this little black swoop that comes down, it kind of gives a little bit of a R8 look as well. You look at the back, not really. It's a little bit more boxy here. But again, it's similar. And it is unfortunate that they weren't able to acquire that license, but I'm quite content with how this did turn out. Taking a look at his accessory, you really can't do much with this. I mean, there's no real place to put it, and there's like no holes or anything, so you're just kind of left with it just dangling around here. Let me see. Yeah, I don't really see anywhere that you can plug that on there. I mean, the side, I don't see little tabs on it. I mean, it's not that bad, but it definitely is kind of just like there. Now, we did only see him for a few seconds. He battled Sideswipe. So you have Sideways and Sideswipe. So here is that Revenge of the Fallen Sideswipe figure. You can see that, again, coloring looks really nice. The silver is really very sharp on both of these. But you can see that the scale works pretty decent. They are roughly about the same size. Even though, honestly, I feel like the R8 is a little bit bigger than the Stingray Corvette. But in general, I think that this works very nicely. These are both super sporty, super sleek looking cars. And as I said, even though that this one isn't an R8, it does a pretty good job of looking like one. Now, to transform them, obviously, as I said, I got this from an overseas seller, so the instructions are probably a little bit out of order. This is kind of how I like doing it. It just makes it a little bit easier. So first, come around here to the side. You're going to kind of take these doors and just pull them out just like that. And then come around here to the bottom, and you have this little piece here that kind of goes underneath the front bit. Sometimes that happens. This one is a little bit looser than the other one. Just kind of straighten that back out. Pop that back in there. But just kind of wiggle that out from the underside just like so. You can rotate these around, just get them out of the way so that you don't have this stuff kind of getting all mixed up. Then take this. You're going to pull these out. Pull that. Well, let's just get that up out of the way. And then these are going to detach from the side and hang out like that. Then you can rotate these around like so. Straighten that out. Straighten that out. Bring the feet down just like so. Come around here to this top section. You can fold this piece, and then this is all going to accordion down, and it will collapse all the way underneath here. Get that out of the way. Well, here, let's lift these up. Lift these up. This whole thing is going to accordion back and up like that. Just kind of hang there for that second. And then this is going to accordion down there, and that will come down here. It will tab in right there at the chest. Come around here to the back section. You can collapse the chest all the way up. That will soft tab into place as well, kind of underneath there. And then you can take this, fold that down just like so. Kind of move these arms out of the way. Take these little chest bits here. This is going to fold forward a little bit. Just give a little bit of an angular look. Do that on this side as well. And then these pieces here actually will collapse. Play with that. I can keep that position up like that. These little wing bits here just kind of hang off to the back section like that. Straighten out these legs a little, and then take these hands. You want to you got some double hinges right here. That's going to collapse and collapse, and then that tire section goes along the back, and then close the hand just like so. Do that on this side as well. Pull this, bring that down, collapsing that. Bring the whole hand section down. Spread these legs. You can, again, kind of, yeah, I mean, a lot of these Michael Bay ones had like these little chicken legs sort of thing, so you can kind of bend that back if you want, or if you want to add a little bit of height to them, you can just kind of leave them straightened out like that, but kind of balance that. Like that. Again, kind of keep these flared out. And when you're done, there you have Sideways, and is really very cool and honestly pretty accurate looking robot mode. And while the vehicle mode doesn't have as accurate of a look as he did in the film, the robot mode really pretty much does. And for the most part, that opinion is based off of kind of the video game CGI that we've seen. Because honestly, in the film, we didn't get a very good look at this guy. But it is a pretty accurate representation of what they at least created for that video game. As you can see, for his weapons, you can just plug it on here. You have his hand, you kind of want to open it all the way up, and then on the inside here is a little slot that you take this, and there's a little tab right there that you literally just kind of put his hand in there, and just kind of push that there, and you got him holding his little tri-prong weapon thing. But in general, really a very cool looking figure. It is very much like Barricade in terms of like the wings, the arms, all that kind of stuff. You can get him to stand a little bit taller. The ball joint on my ankles are a little bit loose though, so he does have a tendency to kind of want to fall back. So that's why I kind of keep it a little bit more angled, but you can get him, as you can see, to stand a little bit taller. And I think that, again, the scale works pretty good. I'm trying to see, he wants to lean and fall. But let's bring in Sideswipe for the comparison. As you can see, they are roughly the same scale, so it works pretty decently, I think. Unfortunately, no, there is no way to take his blades and split this guy in half. That's definitely unfortunate, but hey, you know, maybe a movie masterpiece version or something. I mean, we did get Jazz with his torso being ripped apart. So, you never know. But again, I think that the scaling here looks really good. He does have a very alien look. That's what a lot of people talk about. You take a look at that head sculpt, and I'll come in the other way. That is, without a doubt, a very Michael Bay alien-looking head sculpt, and I really do love it. I think that it looks very cool. The coloring on there looks really nice. You got those big, giant bug eyes there, those little mandible teeth. I mean, he really does look like an alien. And he should. He's an alien. I mean, I always found it funny when people complained that they looked too alien. Like, they're aliens. And then they made them look more humid with, like, The Last Night in Age of Extinction. And those looked weird because they looked a little bit too human. And everybody just complained. And it was Michael Bay, so people complained about it. But the overall look, again, looks pretty decent. He cleans up very nicely. You do have a little backpack section right here, but it kind of compresses pretty decently. You have his little window wings right up here. You do have some like faux parts right down on his thigh section, which kind of look like maybe it's like the back section or something like that. But I do like how you have some parts right here that kind of carry over from vehicle mode that necessarily aren't a part of the vehicle mode, but like I said, they're faux pieces, which I think look cool. He has little shin guard things right here coming down. Like I said, I'm going to have to tighten up that ball joint. It's just a little bit too loose to kind of balance them. It's not terrible or anything, but hey, you know, a lot of these QC reject factory leaks and stuff kind of have things like that just make it a little bit too off to be packaged and sold. But the overall look on him is still really very cool, and I'm really happy to add him to my collection. Now, for his articulation, the ball joint here on the neck is very prominent. You can get a good range of motion with that, looking up and down and all that. You do have ball joints and swivels here, kind of as part of the transformation for the shoulder, so you get a good range of motion. You don't get it going all the way out, but I mean, you can kind of play around with it and get some kind of poses going on and display them how you want. You got nice ball joints there at the shoulder. He does rotate at the elbow. That's a ball joint right there as well. And you can see that. That's a real big ball joint right there. So you get a good rotation right up there. But then you come down to the elbow. A lot of ball joints on this guy. You got that going on here with the elbow as well. But, I mean, it works. Why not, right? I mean, if it works, why change it? What is going on here? Oh, hey, look, these little pieces fold out. Again, I don't get the instructions, so that's okay. That's cool. That folds out, gives a little bit cooler of a look to it. I dig that. I never even noticed that before. Come down to the wrists, nothing going on really wrists, but you do have the fingers that are articulated. You do have a waist rotation. You have a ball joint here for the hip. Doesn't get a lot, well, no, I guess it kind of does, but doesn't get a lot of rotation outward. It just kind of goes inward. Come down here, you have the swivel for the knee, you have a bend at the knee, and then of course those ball joints that I was talking about at the ankle. It doesn't really give you much of an ankle tilt, unfortunately. It just kind of goes forward and back, but it doesn't really, you can kind of see like a little tilt going there, but that's about it. But really cool looking figure. It doesn't have the split apart feature, which, I mean, what are you going to do? It's kind of gross that they included that with Chaz, but whatever. I certainly dig the guy. Now, to transform him back, let's take these little pieces here that I just discovered that move out. Let's put those back where they go. We come down to the hands. You want to extend that all back out. There we go. Get that on that accordion hinge. Fold the thumb back. You want to have it positioned where his hand's going to be wide open. So the thumb is going to be in the back, and that's going to be more up towards the front. And then just kind of hang that out just like so. Come around here. You can detach this, pull all this away, and then pull that part off, extend that all the way back like that. Put the window thing back on him right there. Put that, if that detaches. So you can't split them in half, but you can pull them apart. So just extend all this up. That's going to explode. This piece right here is going to come down. That'll clip down right like so. These legs you're going to spin around. Now this is a little bit tricky to kind of do and kind of for me to see, to be totally honest. But on the inside here, you have you want to point the toes like that. And then on the inside here are little posts right up next to his head. This comes up and you have to swivel this around. And on the inside here, again, it's kind of hard to see because it's very dark plastic. You just bring that up and fit that in there just like that. That will tab into place. Do that on this side as well. So you bring this, but see, it detach. It does not like, it just kind of rests in there. It doesn't really securely lock, but you can kind of feel it, and then it locks in down here with the feet. So just pull, bring these together, and that kind of sits there. It doesn't really, it's kind of, like I said, I wish it locked in a little bit more securely. It just kind of rests in there. But hold it like that for the rest of it, just kind of keeping things positioned. Bring these little pieces down, fold this little bit back and around. This is going to sit there. And then these, rotate these around, and then these swivel and tuck underneath. And this is where like you might detach this from there. So it is a little bit tricky. Just kind of bring that up and in as best as you kind of can. And see, like, it's already twisting around here. So there you go, kind of origami that up and under as best as you can. And then this comes up on the side. There we go, something like that. And then, like, yeah, see, like, I feel like the part that gets tricky is that one likes coming out is going to be those little leg sections. I don't like how those don't really lock in. They just, like I said, just kind of sit there, because you can see that this moves around a lot. kind of keep that squeezed together, and then kind of twist this. There we go. All right, let's try that again. So you're going to bring this up and under. There we go. And your best bet is just to kind of get this as lined up as possible. We're going to tab everything together here in a bit, but you can see like how this kind of folds around. So bring that up. That goes up under there. That's going to come around here. There we go. And then tab all these little side bits together. There we go. There we go. Bring this down. You have a little tab on the roof. I mean, a lot of tabbing with this. So it's just kind of playing around with it and getting all those tabs lined up, squeezed in nice and tight as much as you possibly can. There we go. That's one side. Let's do that on this side. Let's see if I can do it smoother. Oh, there we go. That's pretty good. There you go. And when you're done, there you have Sideways back in his KO R8 mode. Overall, though, I really do like the guy. Granted, the vehicle mode does not have a full, authentic look to an Audi R8. But realistically, did you know he was an Audi R8? I mean, it was such a dark scene. You could barely see anything, and there was so much action and all this stuff, kind of with him jumping through windows and all this. You know, I mean, it's close enough. It looks enough like him that, honestly, it doesn't bother me really all that much. So I'm okay with it. Transformation can be a little bit fiddly, as you could see. With the way that the arms come up and tuck under here, it does have a tendency to make things pop out. And then, again, with the legs, I really do wish that up around his head it locked in a little bit more securely so that when you're going back, you weren't fiddling with his feet and legs as much. But if you take your time, as you can see, you can get it pretty easily. But I really think that it's that robot mode that shines. As I mentioned, we never really got a very good look at him. Our best look came by way of video game. And in my opinion, they recreated it pretty well here. This is, in my opinion, the best version of Sideways that we have ever gotten. And I would absolutely recommend adding them to your collection. So all that being said, as I mentioned, I did get mine from an overseas seller. But he will be coming out and hitting various retail locations fairly soon. So if you are looking for him, good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, you can just go online to places like Big Bad Toy Store, Amazon, or even Entertainment Earth. For those places, I'll put links right down there in the video description, where you can head on over there and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformers Studio Series figures. Again, I want to send a huge shout out to all of you who watch my videos, especially those that take that extra little step by becoming channel members, who through their continued support help to make reviews like this and many others possible. And finally, guys, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you all for watching and taking the time to be a kid.